And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I thought I could help, or at least try. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia. Try and get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. As we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations, QSA5, to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Got a copy? Yes, Jim, I do. I just got back here a short time. You sound fine, and I'm sorry I was not able to talk to Captain Mike today, but the upcoming schedule should be okay. Okay, ZL, do you copy okay? Probably through Milford.
Yes, sir, Charlie. I hit Milford and I knocked it off frequency, and I had to go to New York for a moment. But we're back on the best one. I don't call it Milford anymore. I just call it PA because of certain situations. Roger.
Of certain situations, Roger. Roger. Yes. Good evening. Good afternoon to you. I got back here from Lancaster. I went through a long experience, very experienced, to the point. About 3 weeks ago, I was totally paralyzed. Totally. I could not move an inch. I could not move 1 inch. And then I ended up in the home health place in Lancaster, and the physical department did me a wonderful helping on getting my strength back to the point it's back to full normal. And I do want to thank Katie over there at the physical department, and Jenna, OTs, operational technology, and Taylor, operational technology, on bringing my strength back completely. By the way, I got up here, and the ground is 95% snow covered, 95% snow covered, and in places it's over 1 foot deep. 1 foot deep of snow, and there's still a little bit of ice on this particular antenna. You get down to Lancaster, there's next to nothing except traces where it might have come off the roof or something. So we do want to say hello. Actually, I'll have to give Jenna the top billing on this, and she is more or less in charge of the physical training down there, and Taylor also. So they have done a tremendous job helping me, and it was a lot of willpower and a lot of work to get things going. By the way, I tried to talk to Captain Mike today, but I got back too far in the future. Too late. I missed the schedule, unfortunately. But here's Captain Mike from just before. I had this horrific situation, which at another time I'll go into in more detail. So this is K1GZL, and here it is.
1GZL, here's 4 Whiskey Charlie on the ground, Sacramento, 20 here, and yeah, great sound again here, Charlie. So we got the cavalry showing up here, about to hook us up here, so it'll be interesting to see if you notice any difference in the signal there. So right now, what are you showing? You said about 15 to 20 over? The northerly direction, but anyway, it's been a good one there today, so we'll be looking for you there on Saturday, and we'll wrap it up there and see when the next time, I don't know if this is a trip out of Miami, I'll definitely give you a call if I can pick you up, but I've got a down flights out of Miami if this can be a big training event. But anyway, they're about to call me here, so I'll get back to you here in about a minute. K1GZL, faithful.
Okay, that was that one. Captain Mike in a 767 Boeing Jet 2 engine flying from Sacramento, I believe Sacramento to Philadelphia. And here's a little bit more.
And Katie, I haven't heard Katie yet, but we're just about 45 miles north of Cheyenne, Wyoming right now at 35,000. So nice morning this morning. How's everything out in New Hampshire? K1GZL, K4 Whiskey Charlie. K4 Whiskey Charlie, right over Rockford right now, Charlie. At 35, about to go to 37 here. We're showing 500 knots.
Okay, and there he is. Just west of Chicago on that elevation, or on that transmission. So back to you, Jim. I didn't mean to hold it so long, but unfortunately I was not able to catch him today. But we're going to try to catch him tomorrow evening as he flies from east to west. So we should be home here for quite a while, at least we hope so. It's been quite an experience. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Hope copied. I'm running probably 45 watts out. I'm a little iced up.
Yes, sir, Charlie. Well, so good to hear you back on the microphone, sir. I have missed you somewhat, much. And I did try to follow up and find you, but nobody that I talked to knew where you were after you left that VA hospital. And I did try that other number that you left me, and I did not get a call back. So I was kind of between a rock and a hard place as far as being able to track you down, but I'm so glad that you're back with us, Roger.
So glad that you're back with us, Roger.
Well, I'm glad to be back with you all. I am very, very much so. And again, I want to thank that the help I had gotten right down the line, and also in the physical therapy, down there in the home health center in Lancaster, but still no word on my amplifier. We're only running about 7 or 8% of the normal output when I have the AL82. I'm iced up a little bit, and at least you're copying there. Well, look, Jim, I'll sign with you on this one, and hopefully everything will go okay for next week. And we'll see what happens, and we should have Captain Mike banging in here on the contact here. So we'll say 73, and anybody listening who is not an amateur, radio operator. That means best wishes in our talk here, and we'll catch you all next Friday, and you'll have it on the YouTube by early Saturday afternoon of next week. And we'll say also good night to Jenna, Katie, and Taylor, who helped me so much to make it possible that I could survive and get back. Boy, what a situation. It was horrible. You know how these... I got a test for modulation purposes, Mike. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Yes, sir, Charlie. Well, you just sound just beautiful. I think your level is just absolutely perfect. And don't change a thing. Get the duct tape, the Gorilla Tape. I'm sorry, get the Gorilla Tape and tape her down. Good to hear you, buddy. And we'll be looking forward to joining you next Friday. Everybody willing and the creeks don't rise, or however that goes. 73, buddy. Good to hear you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. You'll have to check it out. KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Well, anyway, let's get on with the show without further ado. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Give me a shout. Station calling, come back again, please. Slowly, phonetically with your call sign. Something Charlie Oscar station. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Just hooked it up today, and I figured, hey, I'll find Jim and see what it sounds like.
Yes, sir. Well, I found you on my local antenna. So, come back with that call sign one more time, please, sir. Phonetically, slowly.
On November 8th, Bravo Charlie Oscar, a.k.a. Big Clumsy Oscar.
Roger, and what's the name there?
The name is Ross.
Is that Ross?
Roger Oscar Dion.
One more time, phonetically, on the name, please, sir.
Okay, the name is Ron, Roger Oscar Neon. Hell, we haven't even had this long enough to hook the amp to it.
Okay, so I'm copying as Ross. Is that it, Roger?
No, Roger Oscar Neon, Ron.
Alrighty, and what's the location there?
We're in a little town called Bellows Mountain, Ohio. It's about an hour northwest of Columbus.
All right, so I have your signal as it's kind of coming and going there. At times it's about 2 or 3 dB above my noise level, and then it slips into my noise level. You happen to have something in the closet that you could turn on, would you?
Don't have. It's hooked up to my other radio. Sounds like 40 meters is just being 40 meters to us today.
Yeah, so you came up on that one, boy. That was about 8 dB over my noise level, so that really sounded good. Well, gosh, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you verifying with the bandpass of that radio. Is, you know, the newer radios are 100 to 2900 selectable. The older ones are, you know what they are. Is that an older radio or newer?
I ICOM 7300. Haven't had it long enough to learn how to use it, Jim.
Yes, sir. 7300 has 3 settings for your transmit bandwidth, and we suggest the 100 to 2900. You'll find that under settings, transmit sideband, and then it will show you the 3 options for your bandwidth, and we want the 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger. Got it written down.
Alrighty, and then we would start our setup by going to the compressor and adjusting for a 3 level on the compression. Roger, roger.
Compressor to 3.
All right, and then move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, stretch out the first part of that word. You become a human test tone generator. Audio, and adjust for your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Audio. Okay, that's about 2/3, Jim.
Yes, sir. And then on your EQ, I would go plus 2 clicks on the treble side. 2 clicks boost, treble EQ from where you are. Plus 2 clicks boost, treble EQ from where you are. Roger?
Okay, I'll have to figure out how to do that, but I'm writing down what you think I need.
Yes, sir. I think that should do you pretty good. Cranking those numbers, and then join us maybe next week and let me listen to them. Roger, roger.
Roger. By next week, I'll hook up the amp, so we won't have to fight the song.
Roger. I think you'll really enjoy that 7300. It's just an ideal radio. We, have been using ours intermittently and are using it more and more every day. Roger, roger.
QSO, like I said, it's sitting on top of the Mark V field I've used for a long time. It's a big push for an old man, but we'll figure it out. Thank you much. I appreciate your help, Jim. You have a great afternoon. November 8th. Bravo, Charlie Oscar. We'll be clear.
Roger, roger. Bravo, Charlie Oscar 73 there. And I hope you can join us next Friday. I'd love to hear those numbers. In between then, if you would like to hear that radio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, and it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. So, Ross 73, sir, and we'll catch you next week. This is KC9VKV in the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Oscar 4, Oscar Delta X-ray.
Oscar Delta X-ray, come back with the whole call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Kilo Oscar 4, Oscar Delta X-ray, Frankfort, Kentucky.
Roger, roger there, Kentucky. And just check your frequency real close. We're on 7188.000 there. 7188.000. Roger, roger.
Roger, I am on 188.0.
Alrighty, sound like you might have been just a little bit high there in the beginning. And what's the name there?
The name is Charles.
Alrighty, Charles, and what radio are you running, sir?
TS430S.
Tom Sam 430 Sam, roger?
Roger.
Alrighty, sir, if you'd be interested, I've still got, I'm on my local antenna there, and what I'd like for you to do maybe is tell me in 10 seconds or so about your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find us a better path, roger?
Roger, this is a J. Roger, this is a J. Station in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Alrighty, Charles, still on my local antenna. That's the best copy I have at the moment. If you would be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. It's called wide. If your radio can do that, we prefer that you be in that mode 100 to 2900. Roger?
A wide and a narrow setting, and they're both 2400. 2400, not 2900.
Yes, 2400 is your max bandwidth, Roger?
2400 is both the wide setting and the narrow setting.
Well, then, if it's got a wide and narrow at 2400, make it wide, you know, because we need the room, we need the space. Okay, so the setup starts with you engaging your compressor processor at a 3 out of 10, or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. Your compressor processor input, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger? Charles, you sound like you might be getting some RF in the AF. Not real sure. Come back and just talk to me for a couple of seconds there, and let me listen to you one more time. Roger?
Roger. I spoke to you 3 weeks ago, and we set the mic setting down to just about a 4 and a little under 4. Since I spoke to you, I've run a lead strap through the cable in the microphone, and I've also put a foam cover over the mic as well.
And guess what? It hadn't helped. It's as bad. I recall that distortion now. Yeah, it's amazing how you can live your life and recall certain distortions. I remember that distortion from past, and I thought we kind of resolved that by bringing the mic level down and working right into that mic. It didn't have any noise when last we left, when you operated it at a very reduced volume and got right up in the mic. So maybe try that again. Lower that mic level and come right up on that mic. Roger?
This is a 3.5 with right up on the microphone.
Yeah, it's still doing it. So if you have a modification, I would undo the modification, because I think we had clarity without distortion at that setting last. So maybe we can achieve that again. Better that than this. So if you have something that you can disconnect that you did connect, and we get back to where we were last, I think we had a better situation. Roger?
Roger. I can do that, and I can check back in with you next week.
Roger, Roger. Or, you know, if that is that a ground strap from the mic to the radio?
Base of the microphone to the radio, but it's both, let's say the midpoint connects to my bus bar.
Yes, sir. Well, if it's just, you know, if you just probably disconnected it from the mic, that would probably get us back to where we were. If that's a pretty simple operation, I'll just hang out with you while you disconnect that ground strap. Is it like one screw that you have to back off and take that strap off the mic?
Will the mic function correctly if I disconnect the ground strap from it?
Well, if it did before, it should now. You know, the ground strap was additional to whatever it was, so it worked last at 3.5 and you working tight mic. So let's give it a try there. Take that additional ground strap off. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, I'll have to go and get a screwdriver, and that's going to take me a few minutes. I can come back on in a little bit.
Ah, yes, yes. Well, listen here, Charles. You should always have a screwdriver in your back pocket. You should always have a screwdriver in your back pocket. Just be careful when you sit down. Now, I have in my career had a steak knife in my back pocket as I climbed a tower. I thought that'd be better in my back pocket than in my side pocket, which would be a lot more detrimental if I were to bend over, I thought. But, you know, either one of those is pretty bad, and one shouldn't do that. And I'm not suggesting that one should do that, but you should have equipment at the ready in your Radio Shack, because you never can tell when you're going to have some kind of emergency that you have to deal with, you know. And a steak knife, you know, it depends on if it's walking and talking or not talking. But if it's a grizzly bear or something like that, it's good to have some kind of something. But I'm talking about actually technical things like cutting tape off things and you know, stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just giving you a little opportunity there to find something to be able to take that ground strap up. Now, in my day, I would just take that ground strap and I would just start turning that thing and just wrapping it around each other around itself, and pretty soon just break the connection like that. But you know, this new generation, they have to use a screwdriver, and I'm kidding there, Charles, but I'm hanging out for you just for a moment.
Okay, I'm going to be downstairs and I'll be back up a few seconds.
Roger, Roger. I'll tell you what, maybe we will try to catch another tune-up here setup, and then give a shout for me after you get things copacetic, because I don't want you to have a heart attack running down them stairs and trying to get, you know, to that and get back and all that. So just at your leisure, when things seem to be clear, after you remove that ground strap, give me a shout. 73 for now, Charles. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Alpha Bravo 8 Foxtrot.
Bravo 8 Foxtrot. Come back slowly and give me that call again phonetically.
Alpha Bravo 8 Foxtrot.
Roger, Roger, Foxtrot. And what's the name there, sir?
The name here is David. Delta Alpha Victor India Delta.
Well, David, I didn't know I was sharing my house with somebody else. That you sound like you're right here, buddy. It's really a strong signal, Roger.
Well, I appreciate that, sir.
And let's see, where are you, David?
I'm in the southern part of the state of West Virginia.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running?
I'm running an ICOM 7300.
Okay, and is that the stock mic?
No, sir. This is a Howl headset. Is the Pro Set Elite.
Yes, sir. Sounds really good. Maybe we can doctor it just a tad, but right at the moment it sounds pretty good for what it is. No mouth noises. So if you'd be interested in our setup, make sure that 7300 is in the wide mode, 100 to 2900. Roger.
Yes, sir. It is in the wide mode at this time.
Alrighty, then move to your compressor on and add a 3. Compression on, add a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us achieve our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup.
Okay, compression is on and add a 3.
Alrighty, now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, don't stress it, just say it like any other word, and just elongate the front of the word audio. You become a human test tone. Set that level by mic gain control at 2/3 on your ALC.
Audio. Okay, right there I'm at 2/3.
Yes, sir. Now let's move to your EQ page. Roger, Roger.
Okay.
That sounds really good. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds or 15 about the thing you like best about your 7300?
Well, the 7300 for me, it was really easy to set up, and it seems like it doesn't matter which mic I use. It was a stock mic, and I also have a SM30, and then I got this Howl headset, but I seem to like it the best.
Yes, sir. Sounds really good. You're right on EQ-wise with that headset. Might use, well, I don't know. I think I like it just like it is. I wouldn't change a thing, Roger.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've had some good reports on it, and I think I like it. I've listened to myself back in a few places. I think I like it this way too. But I really appreciate you what you do, and I was wanting to get your opinion.
Yes, it's got nice cut to it. It's got, the articulation, and it does have some bottom end for body. Gosh, I would say get the Gorilla Tape out and tape her down, Roger.
Thank you, sir. That is what I will do.
Yes, sir, and if you want to hear that great audio, if you go to YouTube, recall, let us search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. It will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500. Roger?
Roger that, and I sure will check it out. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. David, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Oscar Delta X-ray. Go ahead.
Okay, I have disconnected the ground strap from the microphone.
Yes, sir. It's sounding better. It did have that RF and the AF all the time. Now just occasionally, but it's mostly gone. Thank goodness for that. Roger.
Roger.
So I would run it like that. And do you have a watt meter or any way to show the output of that radio?
Yes, I do. I have peak forward power of 50 watts right at the moment at this setting of a 3.0 on the mic gain.
Yes, sir. Okay, just take note that if you get a reading on your watt meter and you're not saying anything, then that's probably a bunch of garbage RF and the AF, if you know what I mean. So occasionally, maybe just watch your meter there, and if you're getting an output signal like 20 watts, 30 watts or something, then that's probably a garbage RF in your AF. Roger?
I'm not clear.
All right, so your noise is causing an output on the radio. Just like your voice causes the radio to output a signal, the noise that the RF and the AF makes feeding back is also generating RF signals, just like if you were making those noises with your mouth. Roger?
Roger.
So the meter will reflect an output signal. And if you're not talking and nobody else is talking in the room, then you either got a ghost or you got RF in the AF, Roger.
Roger. So should I be looking to see if the needle is moving when I'm not talking? Is that what you're referring to?
Exactly. So if you would like, just key up. Don't say anything. Just look at your meter. It shouldn't do anything. It should be, doing nothing and not showing any reading at all. Roger?
Roger. I'm going to try that. So the needle went back down to 0 when I stopped talking.
Yes, sir. So if you had any more RF in the AF, that meter would start to still continue to read because it would be reading the noise that the RF feeding back into hang on just a minute here. Let me get this straight. The RF is getting back into your audio, so that would be a signal that you would be seeing as it crunches and it would be doing things like that, and that would be showing up on your meter as modulation output. Roger?
Roger.
So, I'm glad that we had this chance to talk because obviously the ground to the chassis of the radio did not work and made things worse. So I'm glad we had this chance to find that out. Roger.
Roger.
And you're what? You're still on the second floor, is that right, Roger?
That is affirmative, yes.
All right. I would, you could try if, I don't know, maybe, but I'm using RG8 as a ground. We're talking RF ground. It doesn't have to be like an OT cable, because you're not handling a bunch of current, but you are handling RF. So when I use RG8, it's the same thing as like a 1-inch cable pipe going out to the ground. So you might try dumping a piece of RG8 out your window down to a ground that you could maybe drive in the ground underneath your second floor window, and then attaching that to your radio. Roger?
Roger, I have a copper pipe that goes from the radio down to the ground.
Oh, you have one now and it's hooked up?
Yes, it's hooked up. I have a 3/4-inch copper pipe.
Roger, I'm assuming this is like a water pipe or something?
It's a copper pipe from Lowe's.
This is not something involving utilities or gas or water or anything, just one that you put in?
Yeah, I bought it specifically to run from the radio down to the ground level.
Yes, sir. Huh. Well, it apparently, the thing is that when you get separated from Mother Earth, by X amount of feet, the ground doesn't seem to work, because it becomes like, we're talking RF here, and we're talking frequency, and we're talking wavelengths, and sometimes when you get removed physically from the actual ground point, you become less than a wavelength or more than a wavelength away or something, whatever that is, and it no longer is a good ground. That's why you want to try to get to ground as soon as possible. You got a couple of options. You can run like you are, get yourself a windscreen so you can run like that, so you don't have any mouth noises, or you can get a new radio, or you can move downstairs. Roger?
Roger.
I think that's about the only three options that I see you have there, and getting a $4 windscreen might be the cheapest of all those.
Yes, I already have the windscreen.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, your frequency is 7188.000, is that it, Roger?
Yes, 7188.0.
Just sounded like it might be just a little bit high, but not enough to write home about. It just, do you have a... you're running a 7300, so a clarifier would not be in the making there, I don't think. Sometimes folks have a clarifier in their radio that shifts not only their receive frequency for clarification, but it also shifts up the transmitter frequency, so it can be a problem. Roger, Roger?
Roger, and I don't have the 7300 the 7300. I have a TS430. It's a mobile radio, about 38 years old.
Oh, Charles, I see. Yes, you are. I'm sorry. A mistake on my part. I've got your TS430S. Roger, Roger. So, and it does not have a clarifier. Is that a Roger?
It has a switch. This is processor and off.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like on receive. You don't have, other than your main VFO, it doesn't have a little knob off to the side called clarify or clarifier?
No.
All right, good enough. Well, again, I think we've got you out of noise. So I would run it just like that. Obviously that ground strap did not work well at all. So I would run it just like that, and maybe get a windscreen and call it even new radio, first floor.
Okay. Can you check my radio if I turn it up to the mic setting of a 4 and tell me if I still have ground noise or RFI?
Well, I can look at your audio. I've got a VU meter tied to your audio on my receiver, and you're at that level that you're working that microphone. You're already too hot. So, it's not a question of being not loud enough, because you are. Matter of fact, I would turn down just a skosh to bring your ALC back into reality, Roger.
Roger.
So, do you know where your ALC reading meter is on that radio?
I have a switch that switches between ALC and IC, and the IC runs from 1 to 20, and the ALC runs, it's a thick band and then a thin band. There's no numbers on it.
All right, so you know where the ALC band reading is. Many of those radios, the ALC does not run the full width of the meter reading. A lot of those ALCs, they just run halfway of the meter readings, but you can tell by looking at the meter, and it has a legend in back about ALC and what it should read. We only want to run about mid-scale to 2/3 on that ALC, we can set that by the word audio and adjust your mic gain until you're mid-scale on your ALC. Roger?
Roger, I can try that. Audio. 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 Audio.
Yeah, and you can keep that, if you can sustain the audio part for about 10 seconds or so, you can twist that knob just a little bit this way, that way, and just set it just perfect mid-scale on your ALC meter. Roger? Show off.
That's 2/3 of the thick band.
Yes, sir. Now, what's your mic reading?
It's about 1.75.
Yeah. So, see, you've got a hot mic there. That's the other aspect to that. That mic has got a hot output. Now, does that have a low roll switch on that microphone?
I don't think so.
Does it have any kind of operational thing on that mic? Any knobs or whistles or switches?
Okay, there's a lock switch, and there's a switch that says down and up on the frequency.
Down and up on the frequency? Does it actually control the radio?
Yes, it does.
Wow, so that is a radio, that is a microphone intrinsic to the radio, specifically for that radio?
Yes, it's an MC60 microphone, and if you accidentally touch the down or up, it takes you off frequency.
Interesting. All right, so see, the problem is that microphone is pretty hot. I mean, you have a 0 to 10 scale on the microphone? Is that a Roger?
No, there's no scale on the microphone.
No, I mean on the mic input on your radio. You have a 0 to 10 scale on your mic level on your radio?
I don't know if I have that or not.
Well, you're at 1. What is your current level, microphone level?
It's about 75% of the way up on the wideband on the ALC meter.
All right, talk to me just for a minute. Tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, and let me listen to you.
The radio is about 38 years old. It's in very good condition. I had it in the box in the attic for many, many years till the COVID thing.
Yes, sir. Well, I think your volume is set very good there. And you're clean. I didn't hear any noise. So, and if you get that windscreen, that'll be another plus for you for, $4 down at your music store or Amazon or however you do business, a foam windscreen would be a nice thing for you, Roger.
Roger, I got one at Guitar Center.
Yes, sir. And you have it on now?
Yes, I have it on right now.
Yes, sir. All right, you're clean. You're clean. And I did not hear anything, but I was just thinking that, because of the RF and the AF, we had you working tighter mic, and usually tight mic means mouth noises, and that's why that windscreen is so important now. But you have gone forth and solved the problem, Roger. Well, I think we're about done here. I think your level's set correctly. Do you have an equalization for that radio?
No, there's nothing like that. It has a processor on and off, and you can switch between ALC and IC for the meter.
Roger. I think we're utilizing about everything that radio's got in the perfect manner. Roger.
Roger.
So I'm glad we worked out that ground strap that wasn't working. You sound a whole lot better again. Roger.
Roger, thank you.
Yes, sir. So, Charles, 73 to you, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and I'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you want to hear it, go to YouTube, do a call it a search. KC9VKV followed by the word logbook will take you to this recording. It will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. So 73 there, Charles. Roger.
Roger, 73. Thanks for the help.
Yes, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, K9UR, K9 United Radio, over.
K9UR, is that a Roger?
K9 United Radio.
Is that a Roger?
Yeah, Jim, good afternoon, K9UR, yep, on a Elecraft K3 today, and, let's see, this is a Kenwood MC60 mic, and just looking for some audio tailoring with the gain or the bandwidth. I've got an 8-position equalizer here. Tell me what needs fixing, over.
All right, what's the name there?
Yeah, my name is Joe. Go ahead.
Roger, Joe, and what's your location?
I'm just up the road here. I'm in Bloomington, Indiana here. Go ahead.
All right, Joe, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around for a better path, Roger.
Okay, very good, Jim. Yeah, running about 110, 115 feet each leg, coming down into a 1-to-1 Malin and into the shack here on 40 meters. It plays pretty well. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I've got you great on my local antenna. You're about 15 over, so a really good signal. The first thing would be to be sure you're in that wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Yep, bandwidth is good. Yep, about 2.8, 2.9 wide. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So you are 2.9, Roger?
Roger, yep.
Alrighty, then we suggest compression on at a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, something you'll never hear on the air, but it helps us achieve our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. So it's a compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled.
Okay, very good. Yep, compression about 3 out of 10.
Yes, sir. Okay, now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, don't stress it, just say it like you would say any other word. Stretch out that first part of the word audio and set your level by mic gain control to 2/3 on your ALC.
Okay, very good. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, audio, 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 audio. Audio. Here we go. Yep, that's about right there. Audio. 1, 2, 3. K9UR. Back to you.
Sound like you might be still hot. Stretch that word out. Audio. You become a human test tone generator, Roger.
Okay, very good. Let me Let me try here. Bring the mic gain down just a little bit. Audio. 1, 2, 3. Audio. Audio.
Alrighty, now tell me about your antenna system here for a minute.
Okay, yep. It's a doublet system up at about 70 feet at the apex. The ends of the wires at about 60 feet. So just about a flat top antenna system here. Driving into a small legal limit solid state amplifier. And this rig has 8 bands on the equalization. Although I haven't quite figured out where to set the different settings. Don't know if it's got too much treble or what it sounds like.
Right, Joe. Now, do you have outboard equipment, or this is all internal stuff?
This is all internal.
Okay, what is your mic level at the moment?
Mic gain is about 15%.
No, the level. What is the level of it? 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever?
Oh, it's about 2 out of 10.
All right. I would suggest moving back off mic about 2 or 3 inches from where you are, and let me hear you.
Okay, all right. I backed off the mic here. Wonder how that sounds now. And 30% compression, backed off the mic. Over.
Yes, sir. A lot cleaner. I think what was happening is that you're overloading the front end of your audio in the radio. Because it was, it was distorted. So when you backed off, the distortion cleared up, but the level stayed just about the same, Roger.
Okay, very good. So the distortion cleared up, but the level stayed the same. What is the tonal quality? Is there enough bass, adequate treble, and so forth? Over.
Well, I'd rather go for the top end first, and we'll work out the bass. Let's see, that radio is a K3. We need a little more top end, about 3 to 4 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are.
All right, let me see if I can find that. 1 second here. Okay, TXEQ, and let's see here. Let's go in and we'll adjust the treble to the high end. 1 second here. All right. Okay, Jim, how are we doing? Got the high end boosted now. Go ahead.
All right, I'd back off maybe too much. You put too much. Maybe, did you go +3, 4, or all the way?
Yeah, about +4 out of 10.
All right, so drop that about 2 less than where you are, 2 clicks less than where you are.
Okay, how about now?
Sounds good. I think we got the top end. Now let's go to the bottom end, plus 2 clicks from where you are on the bottom end.
Okay, it's 400 cycles here. That's +2 now on the bottom end.
Okay, 400 cycles is too high. Go back, take 400 cycles back. Can you do 200 cycles?
Yep, I can. Yep, 1 minute here. Uh, 200 cycles coming up. There we go, 200 cycles +3, and I can go to 100 cycles as well.
No, that sounds good. I love 200 cycles on the bottom end. 100 is really too low. 200 is nice. 400 is too high. So why don't you give me about 10 seconds? Tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Well, okay, very good. I'm actually a CW man, so Aircheck K3 is a great CW radio, but it seems to get very nice reports on single sideband as well. So I want to just get it dialed in so it sounds pretty decent. Not too shrill, but good clear audio on sideband. This is K9UR with KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon vlog. Go ahead, Jim.
Roger, Joe. 2 more clicks bass boost. 2 more clicks push from where you are. Roger.
Roger, okay, there's 2 more clicks on the 200. I could also bring the 400 up if that would help.
No, leave the 400 flat. You should be flat mode from 400 to 1.5K. All those should be flat, Roger?
Yep, that's exactly right. 400 is flat, 800 is flat. 1.6, I've got just a +1. And then when I get into the 2 and above, it's a bit more boost. Over.
Yes, sir. I take that 1.6 back to flat. Roger.
Okay, 1.6 is now back to flat.
All right, and maybe, let's see here, 2 more clicks, bass boost. Let's just see where that goes. Roger.
Okay, here's coming up to 7 on the, there's +7 on the 200 cycle base. Over.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want you to go back to your ALC and reset your level, because we've messed with the EQs, and anytime you do extensive EQing, you should always go back to your ALC and double check your level, and you know how to do that. Audio with mic gain control. Roger.
Yep, Roger. Audio 1, 2, 3. Audio. Audio. Okay, that's about plus audio. Yeah, there we go. Audio 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How's that, Jim? KC9VKV in the Friday afternoon vlog. K9UR.
Roger, Joe, now you've got to be consistent as far as the way you work the microphone, because you can shift EQ. Not only if you vary your distance from the microphone, you not only shift your volume comes up as you get closer, but your bass comes up as you get closer. So you need to find out a position that's comfortable for you, and you stay right in that position. Roger, your proximity to microphone should not change. Roger.
Okay, very good. Yep, I'm pretty much consistent here now. Over.
Alrighty, and so at that point, go back and check your ALC for 2/3. Roger.
Okay, so K9UR testing audio 1/2 to 2/3 on ALC, and that looks like that's pretty much on the money right there. K9UR.
All right, now I spent months finding just the perfect word for you to set your ALC level with, and the word is audio. And you can't find a better tone to set the microphone. Roger.
Roger. Yeah. Audio. Yep. There we go. Pretty much right in play there.
All right, and so where does that make your mic gain at the moment? What reading is your mic gain?
It's about number 9 out of, I think it's probably 100, so it's not a lot of mic gain right now.
Oh, okay, so what I'm thinking is it sounds like you might also have some distortion in there, so I want you to pull back off mic about 2 inches from where you are, you know, just to calm down that level just a little bit and see if that's causing the slight distortion. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Let's give that a try. See if we can come off the mic a bit. That's off mic about. I'm probably 6 inches from the mic now. And how is that? How does that sound? Over.
Yes, so that sounds a lot better now. What I want you to do at that level, at that distance, I want you to go back to your ALC. Now, is that an impossible situation? Because I think what's happening is your proximity to the microphone is generating so much power that you're down in that first quarter bit of the mic level, and that indicates that level is pretty hot, because you usually want that mic level to be up around mid-scale 5, mid-scale of the mic level, and you're down low on the mic level. Roger?
Yeah. Maybe resetting the equalizer to cutting the bass instead of boosting the treble. That might be the answer. Leaving the treble flat and just cutting the bass. That might help. Over.
No, because what you want to do with the equalizer is equalize the signal. But you want to get the microphone out of distortion. That's the main thing. So if you're down in the first eighth of a turn on that microphone level, it indicates that the input is too hot. You want more level on that mic, so you be sure you're not overdriving the audio preamp. If you know what I mean there.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Well, let me, unfortunately it's a dynamic mic and there's no gain control on it. It just, perhaps it's just a hot microphone.
Yes, sir. So what you're telling me, though, that it's around 1 out of 10. Is that a Roger, or 10 out of 100?
Yeah, I'd say 10 out of 100.
Yes, sir. So a 1 out of 10, and that's really too hot. You need more grace there for those peaks to have some headroom, you know. So I would just, in the interim, I would just pull off mic a little bit and get that volume, your internal mic gain, up to around a 2 or something. So you would be, you know, at least out of distortion at that point, and then we'd make the EQ work. Roger?
Okay, very good. All right, let me see here if I can get this audio. Yeah, let me play around with this just a little bit and see if I can get that dialed in so I can get a little bit more mic gain. There we go. Well, that's that mic gain now. The mic gain now. Let's see. That is about 25 out of 100. So that's still in the bottom fourth, but a little bit more gain. Over.
Yes, sir. Now, if you pull off the bass on the EQ, see that destroys the signal that we're trying to come across. We need the bass right now. You're very mid-rangey, so we need more bass to give you a little more body in your audio signal. I'm copying the male with a 7300, you know, which is a 100 to 2900 wide mode. Roger.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Yep. That's okay. That seems to be, well, I don't know. That's about 2/3 on ALC, not jumping to the top of the ALC range. And that mic gain is right at 20. Just checking here. Let's try this and this and this. All right. Let's see how that is. How does that sound, Jim?
I don't play that way. Let's follow my lead, okay? I'm looking for more bass, so I want everything flat in your EQ from 400 to 1.6K flat. Then the top end is, what is your top end frequency? Do you have parametric? You can give me a certain frequency?
Yeah, I've got the 2.4 and 3.2 for the top end above 1.6. 1.6, 2.4, and 3.2.
Can you give me a 2.7?
Unfortunately, no. 2.4 or 3.2.
Okay, yeah, give me full 3.2, full 3.2, Roger.
Okay, that's full 3.2.
And plus 2 clicks additional bass boost from where you are.
All right, and that is going to be 200 cycles, right?
Yes, sir. And you don't have a width control on your EQ, Roger?
Negative.
Okay, so then that would be 2 clicks boost from where we just talked about.
Yep. All right. There's 200 cycles, and that's 2 clicks higher.
Okay. What is the current reading of your bass EQ?
Plus 3 out of plus 10.
Take it plus 2 more.
All right, there's plus 5, over.
Alrighty, let's go back to the ALC, double check your level from the position. Remember, you're going to maintain your proximity to microphone when, you know, what you were last, and reset your ALC level.
Okay, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, yep. Mic gain is just about on mic, 2/3 scale, not quite peaking to the top, over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That sounds pretty good. Now, let's see. Tell me about what you like best about ham radio.
Oh gosh, well, been a ham for many, many years, and I suppose it's the original social network. Met some really fine folks in the hobby over the years, and it's hard to beat the quality of folks that I've come across in ham radio. It's just they're good folks by and large.
Roger. Now, you were playing a game with 3.2 and 2.7, or what was that, 2.4?
Yeah, 3.2 is max, and 2.4 is it could go up another 3 clicks.
All right, pull back the 2.4 because you're still a little mid-rangey, you know. I wanted to get you a little more silky, so back off 2 clicks of 2.4.
Okay, there's 2.4 now, back down to about 4 or 5 clicks here, 5 I guess, over.
Yes, sir, and we're full boost on the 3.2?
Yep, full maxed out on 3.2.
All right, sounding nice. Let's see here. Tell me about, again, the antenna system that you would desire if you had the time and money.
getting ready to put up a spider beam, which is a 3-element multi-band, 5-band antenna. It's a pretty simple design using fiberglass and wire, very lightweight, so easily supported by a small tower and tremendous performance by a small tower and tremendous performance. 3 or 4 elements on the bands, and I used one of those spider beam, and it was very impressive. So I think I'm going to put up a spider beam as my next antenna. Go ahead.
Roger, Joe. I think it sounds great. Get the Gorilla Tape out, taper down. And in that last transmission, I moved down to the PA SDR to double check. And so you've got some recording off an SDR, which is, you know, those are notorious for rolling off the bottom end a little bit. And then you have my 7300 on local. And I have a chevron on the right side that shows what we're listening to at the moment. So you can hear the switch and see the switch. Roger?
Yeah, okay, very good, Jim. Are you you're no longer using the 990? You're now 7300. Is that correct?
I'm using the 7300 more often. I still use the 990. I got a lot of work and effort into that radio, and I do dearly love the transmitter of that radio. It's a little bit, well, I don't know. I just like the sound of it, actually a little bit better than the 7300, but on one aspect, and then the other aspect I like the 7300 too. Roger?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's so many of those 7300s out there. It's remarkable. Yeah, it's like the Volkswagen of FM radio. A good quality product for a fair price. You can't beat that. Okay, Jim, I won't take any more of your time. I know it's getting late. About time for you to wrap up. I appreciate you giving me your time to help me get this new-to-me rig dialed in. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, I would, for a few weeks, I would leave the ALC meter out. You got to have something to do as you're, you're talking there. So just leave that ALC meter out so you can watch your audio and develop a relationship between your ALC meter and your voice. And pretty soon you'll be able to put that ALC meter exactly where you want it. Roger?
Yeah, very good, Jim. Okay, thanks again. I certainly appreciate it. Have a wonderful afternoon and a nice weekend. Happy Easter and so forth. KC9VKV, K9UR.
Roger, you are Joe, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And this is 10 minutes till 5. We cut out of live at 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Heard somebody calling me, station calling, try it again.
Heard somebody calling me, station calling, try it again.
I heard somebody say 100 watts down in Georgia. This is KC9VKV station, 100 watts. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign. 100
watts, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Yeah, it's Ed, KI4YTV. My loop broke and I just wired it up as a long wire. I don't think it's working as good, but I'm just wondering. Pop is bad, Roger.
Yeah, Ed, I think your original antenna is a lot hotter usually, but then again, you might be running a box all the time. I'm not real sure, but I did usually get a really good copy on you on my Pennsylvania SDR, and I don't even receive you now. I'm copying the mail on my Georgia SDR. Roger?
I'm copying the mail on my Georgia SDR. Roger?
Roger. Well, the loop broke. I just very strong yourself, about 5'7", maybe 5'8". But I'll get it wired up maybe this weekend or something. I'm just not going to do it now. I just was making sure it's working. I got a good SWR anyway through the match. Got a good SWR anyway through the matchbox. There's a long wire configuration, but I don't think it's as good as the loop configuration, Roger.
Yeah, Ed, do you normally run the power amp, and can you run it on that antenna?
Normally run the power amp, and can you run it on that antenna?
Probably. I just haven't, I didn't fire it up yet. It takes a minute or two to warm up.
Roger that, roger that. I was just curious because usually, you know, I gotta hang on to something. Your signal comes through here, man, and moves me back 5 or 6 foot in the control room.
Comes through here, man, and moves me back 5 or 6 foot in the control room.
Yeah, I know. You're only about a 5'7", so I definitely think it's not as good.
Yeah, roger, roger. Well, you know, today's not a necessarily good propagation day, Roger.
A necessarily good propagation day, Roger.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the loop configuration is better. I just gotta, you know, it just snapped. It actually snapped on me last week, and we repaired it, and now it's snapped on the other side where it went through the trees. So it's been rubbing against the trees for 5 years. Come on, amp, warm up.
Well, you know, you might have some squirrely squirrels in the neighborhood that like that insulation. You never can tell when them squirrels start eating on the insulation, Roger.
Never can tell when them squirrels start eating on the insulation, Roger.
All right, here's my amp. Oh, okay, pretty tuned up.
Let me hear you on my local antenna.
Make a difference?
Oh, yeah, a bunch.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's squirrels. I mean, it could be, but I mean, it's been up for 5 years, so, you know, 5 years is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, anything 5 years old, even marriages a lot of times are less than that.
Yeah, the loop's been up a lot longer than I've been married.
Oh, it's sounding all right, man. As a backup, go with it.
Yeah, well, I just, you know, I've been mowing the lawn and working on my paint sprayer and loading up a pressure washer for work tomorrow, and I'm just like, I don't feel like tearing this thing down and repairing it again right now and casting through the trees. And not a neighbor of mine, but he lives about 30 miles away. He's got a drone, and I had asked him when it broke last time to come over and help me, and I told him I repaired it and I wasn't in a hurry, so I'm going to give him a week or so, and maybe he'll get over here with the drone and we can really place it strategically at the top of every branch.
Oh, roger that, Roger. But you could also use a pud chucker.
Yeah, you know, I have. That's how I do it. I use a slingshot, or I cast over the tree with a fishing rod, but the drone is pretty amazing. So I hear you can really drop it right where you want.
Yeah, I've heard that. I got a drone to do that. I just never had the time to get the drone to do it, you know. And they said, well, you got to practice. So I never had time to practice, Roger.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, you know. I got a nice expensive spray gun, but that doesn't mean you can spray just because you got a spray gun. If you've been doing it for 40 years like me, you might be good at it.
Yes, man, I saw a thing on car spraying just recently. This guy had some suggestions about how you can paint without a paint room, you know, to get that clarity. And I think he was sanding easily with 1000 grit.
Oh, nice and shiny, huh?
Oh yeah, it was just a beautiful job, just beautiful. You know me, I go down to Walmart and get myself a can of white or black, and you know, go to town.
Can you do it outside or in a garage?
Ed, we have somebody join us. Station, come back. Try it again.
NQ4X.
NQ4X. What's the name there?
This is John in Ackworth, Georgia. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, John. What radio are you running today?
Well, I just put this on the bench, the Heathkit SB221. Are you reading me okay?
Yes, sir. I'm on my local antenna. You're probably about 10 over, Roger.
Yeah, what's your location?
I'm up around Louisville. I'm on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Very good, very good. Thanks for the comeback. Just testing this radio out, making sure it's working.
Yes, sir. Ed, down in Alabama, I think it is. Ed, you copy John? Well, I think Ed might have took off there. John, where'd you say you were again?
I'm in Ackworth, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Let me why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Yeah, Roger.
Let me see if I can find a path for us, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I've got a 95 feet one way and 35 feet the other or so.
Yeah, I have a best copy on my local antenna. It's a resonant dipole antenna, and you give me, like I say, about a 10 over coming out of Georgia. That's pretty good.
Glad to hear it. I'm going to turn the amp off. Tell me how it sounds when I turn the amp off, would you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Are you sure you turned the amp off?
Yes, I did.
I get the same audio signal as before. Double check that. I think you might be incorrect. Go back on your power amp and let me set level again, and then see what happens.
All right, thank you.
All right, come back barefoot. Let me hear you barefoot.
Okay, I've got the power amp on now.
All right, I have a word that we use for testing. It's called audio. Why don't you give me audio and let me set a level, and then we'll see what happens when you turn the amp off. Or is it on now or off now?
It's on right now. Let me tune it up a little bit. How's that?
All right, now dump the amp and come back barefoot.
It did come back different. Roger?
Give me another barefoot.
This is barefoot. 100 watts out of a 7300.
All right, you're -3 barefoot. You're 0 level with the amp on, so that's a 3 dB difference, Roger. I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter. I set 0 level on your amp, and then when you dump the amp and come back with audio, you're 3 dB down from 0. Roger.
Is that better?
Well, no. I mean, it's never better amp with or without. It's always not as good without the amp. But I'm just saying that there's a 3 dB audio difference between when you're running the power amp and not. Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. I would expect it to. My meter says I'm putting about 300 watts, I guess.
Yeah. So you're running a 7300?
Roger that.
Yeah. So theoretically, you're going from 100 watts to 300 watts. So that's. Did you do something? What you want to do is like a 10-to-1 ratio or something like that. Where it makes an impression as when you are or aren't doing something.
Down to 40 meter range, it's not as good. That's the best right there. That's tuned at 20 meters.
All right, but here's the thing. What we normally do is set up procedure for radios, and if you would like, we can run through the setup on that 7300. Starts with you being in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, the wide mode, 100 to 2900. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I don't think my 7300 has any problems, though. Do you? Over.
Every radio's got a problem if it's not set up correctly. The first, we have a generic setup procedure that will usually take a 10 dB dynamic range transmitter down to a 3 dB from modulation, 30% modulation, average peak modulation to 80 to 85. So, it makes a big difference. So, our setup procedure starts again with making sure you're in that wide mode, and then to your compressor on, and we just run a token amount, like a 3 out of, well, that's 7300, it would be a 3. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us at the end do a slight 3 dB dynamic range is where our goal is, Roger.
Oh, roger that.
And then once you get that compressor on a 3, then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And what you want to do is use the word audio. Don't stress it. Just say it like you would say any other word in QSO, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger.
I'm following what you say, but I'm not sure how the procedure works.
Okay, you got your compressor on at a 3. Roger, roger.
One more time.
You have your compressor processor on at a 3. Is that a roger?
I don't know if I have my compressor on or not. Where do I check that?
You've got a multimeter that runs a lot of different things there. One of them is your compression level and your mic level. Roger.
Okay, is that in the menu?
No, that's there's a little round button to the right. Yeah, to the right above beside the screen, to the right, top right of the thing, multimeter, switch.
Yeah, I see that.
Might check your frequency also. We're on 7188.000.
Okay, I'm on 7188, right?
Yes, sir. Sounds good now. And so did you find that mic gain and your compression gain?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I see that, the compression and the mic gain. Where do I see that?
That's that button, and you just turn it, and as you turn it, it changes. It'll come up and show you where it's at. You rotate it, and right now we're looking for the compressor, and we want to put it on a 3.
All right, let me try that. That doesn't seem to be changing anything.
No. That's an input level control. You want to set it at a 3. It's not part of the audio check. It's just a nomenclature setting, 3 input level to your compressor. Roger?
Yeah, roger.
So did you find that?
No, I have not found it. If I turn the if I lock it in on frequency, which is 7188, right?
Yes, sir.
If I turn that multi thing, it doesn't do anything because I'm locked in.
Well, it does. I'll tell you what, you want to take a couple of notes there, and then you can crank them in as you find things, and maybe check the book, Roger?
Yeah, but I've had this 7300 for 4 years. I've never had any problems with it. I had an SB200 connected to it and have modulated fine all these years. Then I hooked up this new SB221, and I'm not getting the power out. My SWR is bouncing all over the place. I don't know why.
Well, because you have high SWR. If you don't have any SWR, the SWR doesn't move. It only shows what it is when if you were looking at that in RTTY or a constant output, you would see the actual SWR level.
Yeah, roger that. And I don't know why it's jumping around on me like this. It never has in the past.
Roger. Sounds like you may have difficulties in your antenna system, because otherwise you would not have SWR, reading. Roger. Do you use an antenna tuner?
Yes, I do. I've got an IntelliTuner. It's MSJ 998. It's been good.
Yes, sir. Well, some days are like that, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. But I do know that if you don't have SWR, your SWR meter is not going to be jumping anywhere, because there's nothing to read.
Right. I follow you. Well, thanks for the comeback. I'll do some more troubleshooting on this end, on this amp. I don't feel like this amp is performing like it should. Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. Okay, let's see. Is John, is that a Roger?
Yes, what was your name?
Jim, Juliet India Mike, KC9VKV, roger.
KC9VKV.
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor.
Roger that, KC9V, Kilo Victor.
Roger, and John, what's your call?
NQ4X.
Roger, John, what's your location? You're down in Georgia, Roger, and what's the radio?
Roger, I'm in Ackworth, Georgia. The radio is an ICOM 7300.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, I got that. Well, we have been recording since 3:30, so John, if you want to hear your great audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call out a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Oh, roger that, Jim. I appreciate it. I'll check that out.
Roger, roger. And like I said, we do have a setup procedure that will get you down the road there, substantial from where you are in tonality and also your average percent of peak modulation. But, we'll tackle that another day. I got to get out of here. We're 10 minutes past turning into I don't know what we turn into, but it's not good.
I'm sorry to interrupt your net. I didn't know you were on net control. Thank you.
Yes, sir, John, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. So we got to get out of here since 3:30. We've been recording. If you participated and want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call out a search. KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So now we got to get out of here. And we want to say 73 all and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.